know who you are? I believe most of the time the simplest answer to the age-old question, who am I, is simply, we are who we have always been. Of course we all change with age and experience. Even the earth is in a constant state of growth and decay. Nothing or no one stays the same forever. But who we are, that's our core. We can paint on a mask, but that doesn't change our morals, our drive, or our very soul. This has been a hard lesson for me to learn. At school, among my peers, I was criticised for being too opinionated, too stubborn, too loud. I've always been introverted and a bit shy, but I'm confident and will always speak up when needed. But people who believe in things strongly, people who are outspoken, especially women and girls, aren't always met with open ears. I let others break my confidence. I let comments weave into my own self-image. So I began to change myself, only to be criticised that I was too quiet, too shy, and that's if people took notice of me at all. I altered how I presented myself. I took what people said and it weighed me down, but nothing really changed. Instead of asking, who am I was asking, what's wrong with me? You know that nervous feeling you get? The one where you feel like a vice is pressing into your chest. Your palms get sweaty, you feel a shadow of panic swarm your mind, and your thoughts spiral. Yeah, that was my default setting for a while a few years ago. And even now, it's still a feeling I'm well acquainted with. Old habits are always hard to shake. That constant doubt, always overly focusing on every word you say and every action you receive, is so tiring. I think the COVID lockdown is the thing that really brought my self-esteem to an all-time low. Day in and day out, I felt alone. My friends and I didn't talk much. My parents were working full-time in the hospital, so it was only my brother and I in the house. COVID was strict where I was. No school, limited leaving the house only for essential groceries, and no meeting up with friends or extended family. It felt like all my fears of being alone came true, and I wasn't having it. I've never been fond of people telling me what to do. My dad used to call me man job because I would stubbornly never let the males lift the heavy objects or be considered a damsel in distress. I was stuck at home, so I would paint, and I would keep painting until the craft was my own. Sometimes when life seems at its dullest, the best thing to do is find a new perspective. I realise life can change depending on how you look at it. You can focus on the shadow or you can look at the light. When the world reopened, I decided that I couldn't keep hiding because I wasn't going to be everyone's cup of tea. And back home in Ireland, people can be very picky about their tea. I began going to summer camps, volunteering, and being more involved in school. At times I got scared and I would only talk to whatever friend I roped into doing these things with me and avoided everyone else, frightened that I would be disliked. But you can't live that way. People will either like you or they will not. You can't live fearing the answer. Now, the thought of small talk still breaks me out in a cold sweat. Like seriously, is there a manual or something? Because I never know what to say. It always ends in awkward silence. But I am determined to be confident and to speak my mind because that is who I am. That is why I joined FFI. I want the opportunity to grow and to be more independent. And then have a positive impact on my community. And if that means a free trip to New Hampshire, meeting some great new people, and having a great summer story, then I will take that sacrifice. I know the impact our passions can have, mine being art. It can inspire, calm, and bring us together. Back home, I'm doing a painting right now of my granda's old house. I needed some reference pictures from my nan, and then suddenly my extended family and I were reminiscing over old photo albums. I had learnt the roof to have to be thatched, red geranium flowers and terracotta pots on the windows, and the door had to be a pale yellow, and the list went on. And I was frantically taking notes, but we were together. With the aid of FFI, I want to organise art workshops for children that focus on giving boys and girls a creative outlet. I want to bring people together so children don't feel isolated among their peers. I will use recycled materials to help protect the environment that inspired me to start picking up the paintbrush and inspired me to pursue an architecture career. I saw the beauty in nature, which allowed me to appreciate the world and myself. So I want to give something back. even if it starts small. And most importantly, I want children to feel free to express themselves, to be recognised, to be praised, and to be able to be who they are. Thank you for listening.